Hey guys, thank you for joining me today. Just a quick little video on some hips. Do your hips get super tight? I know mine get tight, they get a little achy, and we're moving all over the place. We're working out, we're sleeping, we're sitting weird. Hips get tight, and they just keep getting tighter and tighter as we get older, unfortunately. So, just a few little hip openers, hip stretches for you to do. I do suggest getting a little warm for first. So, if you want to do some plank warm ups, maybe after you went on a walk or something like that, that might be a great time to do these stretches afterwards. So I'm just going to come here to my mat. So you did that, you warmed up a little bit. I'm going to come to a standing position, feet about hip bone distance apart. And stand nice and tall, drawing your abs in, nod your head, slowly roll down, and just make your way down as far as it feels comfortable for you. Bend the knees a few times, getting the hamstrings open and again through our hips. And then as we're here, let your arms hang, bend one knee, straighten the other, and feel like you're pulling your hip back on that straight leg. Keep the feet planted. And then go ahead, switch, bend the right knee, keep the left leg long and straight. So again, we're feeling the stretch into the hamstring, maybe the calf and up into the hip. So everything's connected, and then back. Do that again. My right leg is straight, left knee is bent. Take a nice deep breath, and last time switch. And then back, holding our legs long. You can bend the knees if you need to. If not, use your abs to slowly roll yourself on up and roll your shoulders around. All right, coming down to the ground, I'm going to go ahead and have a seat. I'll face you. Legs are straight out for this first part. So I'm going to take my left leg actually. I'm going to bend it up, and it's right next to my right, and sit real tall. Find that lift into your spine, anchor down that hip. If it's already kind of hard to do this position and stay upright, you can always fold your mat up a little bit to prop your hips up if your hamstrings are a little too tight. The next part is I'm going to take my foot across to the other side. Now, when I do that, we tend to lift that hip up. Try to anchor that hip down. You can put your thumb there and pull it down and pull your knee up into you. I'm going to flex my other foot and then lift. That's also going to give you a little bit of a stretch on that bottom leg. Lifting tall, anchoring down the hips. So if this is plenty, just hold into that. If you want to move a little bit further, I'm going to now take my left ankle and place it on top of my right thigh. Now, I'm not on my knee. I'm above my knee. I know it's hard to see, but I do not want to put weight on my knee. It's right on that thigh. Hips are square as well. And from here, I want to hold on to my ankle so it doesn't slip. I'm going to take my other hand and press down on the inside of my leg and lift real tall. So again, you should be feeling a little bit of an opening through that left side. Again, to get deeper, I'm going to hinge forward. I'm going to continue to press down and then go a little forward. Now I'm going to feel that hamstring on my right side as well because I came forward, but I'm pressing open into that left side, and take a breath. And then slowly come up. Like I said, we're all connected. So if your hamstrings are tight, it might pull up into your back, pull up in your hip, and cause all sorts of nice, lovely problems, right? The next part of it, if you need it a little deeper, I'm going to now take that bottom leg and bend it back. Ideally, I want to have ankle, thigh, thigh, ankle, right? It's this little box, so to speak. If that's too hard, you can bring the foot back like so, but really I wouldn't feel that stretch so much. Personally, you might not, you might need to try it there. But if you really want to get that bigger hip opener, we need to bring that leg out. Don't worry if your knee is up here. Okay, that's as far as you can go. Try to breathe into it, gently press down. Don't force it, never force. Breathe. Few deep breaths. A lot of times as you take these deeper breaths, it's easier to sink into it. The other thing you may notice what your body does is start to arch forward. Make sure you're keeping your sits bones planted and you're pressing open. Sit real tall, try to relax and breathe into it. And if this is still not enough for you, your next part is to hinge forward. So you're going to start to come forward. So just your weight coming forward starts to press down that leg. You can take your arms out and just deep breath. As we're still anchoring our hips back, we're pressing that leg open. And as you go forward, again, your body weight is pressing down to open up that leg. Take a few deep breaths and then gently walk yourself back. Now that is a very deep stretch, so carefully unfold. And we'll go to the other side. So I'm going to take my left leg out, right foot, and find that lift, finding my hips are as even as I can get them. So always check sits bones are anchored and lift up. Now I'm going to take that foot across the other side. Again, I want to watch that cheeky's down. You can put your thumb into that hip crease, grab on, sit tall, maybe flex through your other ankle and lift. And hold right here. I like to go into this progression to slowly move into the next movement, which is a little bit more difficult, and just warm our body into it. And different sides, you might feel completely different on this side. So I'm going to take that ankle on top of the thigh, again, not on the knee, right above. Sit tall, flex through the ankles and gently press. Staying tall, pressing down. And you can hold onto your foot, your ankle as you press. Pulling your abs in still, taking some deep breaths. And the next part is that hinge forward. Again, as your body weight goes forward, you press into that thigh to open it up. Now we're getting a little more in that hamstring too, and the calf. And breathe. So when our hips get real tight, it can pull up into our back as well and trickle all the way up. And then slowly come up. So our next part is now bending that bottom knee. Once again, ideally, I want to go ankle, thigh, ankle as much as I can. I'm flexing my ankles as well. Sitting as tall as I can, gently pressing. Follow with your breath. Pull your abs back, trying not to rock your pelvis. Try to keep those sits bones down. Take a few breaths. Then if you're ready and you feel okay and you want to come forward, remember, you don't have to progress. You can stay where you are. If that is a deep enough stretch for you, stay there. Hold and breathe into it. Going more is not necessarily better. It's all on what works for your body. And right now, this is about as far as I'm going for this side, rather than laying all the way down. And that's okay. Perfectly fine. I am feeling the stretch. And then gently walk yourself up. Carefully unfold yourself. Let's bring the soles of the feet together. Grab the ankles, lift up. I'm going to bend my elbows and press my elbows out on the inside of my legs as I come forward. Now, again, I'm in a hinge. I'm not rounding on this one. Hinging, keeping the chest open and pressing my elbows out into my legs. And feeling that stretch in the inner thighs too, but around your hips as well. Big breath as we're here. And then carefully come on up. Go ahead and come down onto your back this time and grab behind your thighs and carefully roll down. And once we're down, feet are right underneath our knees. Knees about hip bone distance, which is about a fist distance apart. I'm going to cross my right ankle over my left thigh. So if you notice, it's kind of what you were doing, seated. But this is our figure 4, laying down. Now this, if you feel that stretch, you hold it here. If not, lift the left leg, grab under the thigh, flex your foot, and I'm going to push my elbow into my right leg and anchor the tailbone down. So we don't want to curl our butt up. We want to press the tail down. And then if you want to rock side to side a little bit, if that feels good, it's a little deeper for you, or you find little spots, please do so. And breathe. You can also add an extension of the left leg for hamstring. And then go ahead and set that foot down. Uncross, cross the left ankle over. Hips are even, you can hold it here. If you need more, slide that leg up, grab under the thigh, lay down, push your elbow into your left. And again, if you want to rock around, press into it. Tailbone is heavy. I'm pressing away and feeling some length as maybe I rock a little. Extend the right leg. If you want a hamstring stretch added to it, and then go ahead and set that foot down and uncross. And then the last one we're gonna do is I'm gonna take my right leg and cross it all the way over my left. So I'm sitting with my legs completely crossed over. From here, I'm gonna hug the knees into the chest. Now they're glued together. From here, I'm holding on to my knees. Now this might be a stretch for you as it is on that front leg, it's my right leg. If not, I'm gonna curl up and reach and grab my ankles, flex, and try to pull them out. Like I tied myself in a little knot here. So I'm keeping that glued. I'm gonna lay my head down and then rock my pelvis up and then anchor it down. So I might need to do that a few times and then maybe rock side to side where I'm feeling that nice hip stretch on my right side. And breathe. And then my feet aren't down here, they are up. And then go ahead and you can switch them, other side. Knees first, hold it here, get a little pull. And then if you want to curl up, slide to your ankles, open them out, flex the feet, get that nice little connection. Lay down, you can pull the hips up and rock them down. And breathe. And then go ahead, uncross. Give them a nice little hug here. Set your feet down on your mat. Have your feet about the width of your mat, maybe a little wider on parallel, arms out. And I'm going to let my knees fall side to side a few times. I'm just feeling that opening around the front of the hip, all the way through the back of the hip. One more time. And back. And go ahead, hug the knees in. You can either roll up like a ball, so we can rock and roll, or if that's not good for your back, you roll to one side and press yourself on up. And then go ahead and have a little seat here. And just take a nice deep breath. So hopefully those felt pretty good for you. You feel that openness in those hips. And go ahead and do those a few times a week, and hopefully your hips will become a little bit more open. Thank you for joining me. Have a great day.